for MIBR.
Still need to be seeing, I think, a little bit more here from Tex. That defender side where you're expected to be a little bit more favored. Obviously, setting up the trips to try to just cover your rear when you're going for, you said, starting to kind of find that groove. And if Ospas is going to be one of those players, it's obviously terrifying. The analyst was talking about it. When you have that waylay, you're able to circumnavigate a lot of that vice setup. Go up and over the wall, have that trigger go over the thorns, completely just avoid that damage right there alongside the rays.
Yeah, and in theory, right, you have the Omen too. So you have a lot of abilities to kind of nullify some of those C setups. Good coordinated teams that are able to clear some space, able to use maybe some of the Fade util, some of the Rays util to clear out the C site and then get past that wall. Get 3 players right in there before the wall can block out the others. Get a plant going, little things like that that can be orchestrated. Really could be a difference maker. And let's see if we get any inkling as to what some of the ideas might be around that for MIBR early, as they will be drifting in that direction. Mazzino just clearing the haunt, just keeping attention on this side of the map for the rest of his team.
And that's damn good.
Yep.
How many players are here?
Yep.
Only Benji Fishy not on the site for the moment. The rest of the team. So wall going to be baited out. Ospas gets the quick entry in. And so far, Heretics not really biting on this. They want to be able to re-clear out towards A main first, as well as secure this ult orb for Woot. So grabs that up. And while looking for that moment, we'll just be able to find a smattering of damage, but Rien's still alive. Zeno will fall. Ospas, though, double face forward with Tex. Pushing up through Waterfall. Kashmar ready with the slide. Regains that space, forces them back away. Still a lot to assess here for Heretics.
With some ability to stall is MIBR.
On to Waterfall. Rans knows that he's safe to scale forward, but the time is starting to bleed out. Paint Shell invested alongside that relay bolt, trying to find any kind of damage, any kind of kill that they could possibly get, but it's going to be Verno striking first now. Ospas able to find Rians. The defuse starting to be held. Paint Shell going to be layered in. Gets it up to half. Woot going to be struck down. They go back onto this one. He's going to be holding for, and he's just barely got it. MIBR cannot defend the spike. Heretics steal away another pistol. And that is going to have MIBR reeling and kicking themselves.
Absolutely. Benji's been so instrumental in these pistol rounds. Had a 3K on the lurk, and this time around, able to get the important kill. And is right there to stick. Knew the time. Knew he had to go right for it. Good job by the initial diffuser getting it to half, knowing that they were going to have to eat a paint shells and give their lives for the cause. Benji spotted out early. Grenade sent in his direction. Catches a little bit of damage onto him, but
Kashmars is here to back him up, and he is, yep. He's going for his usual stuff here. He's got the Ares this time, not quite enough for the Omen, as the Thorns from Benji will find himself a second, and in the end, he will collect a 4K to make it a flawless anti-eco.
An absolute blender there. Nicely thought out, nicely set up. Love the Ares in these scenarios where you can just hold the line.
I might be the first Ares of the tournament.
I think they used it the other day on the B stream.
Oh, maybe they did.
I think they did.
I haven't been able to see every single map, but
we've been a little busy.
It's been a little back and forth. But, I mean, Kashmars is one of these players you have to be ready for these things, because he's doing stuff that no other Neon really does, where he's bringing the O to the bear. I think we saw a little bit of it from Dambi back at Santiago.
True.
But that was when he was, taking it off the corpse of Brock.
Right.
He's like, oh, I think I could use this. He will just buy this into the round.
Yes.
So you have to be ready for him that, just have these LMGs in hand. Meanwhile, okay. We're into the round, and Heretics are bodying MIBR on their anti-bonus. Verno's the last one standing. 30 seconds have passed. And I don't know if this requires much of an explanation. I think that kind of just sums it up. Just Rand's dancing around and killing him with a sheriff.
Well, it looks to me, from what I can see on the map, they won a pick at the front of B, and then they won the Rebel fight, and they won the round. There you go. That's my my detective deductive logic there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for the autopsy.
You're welcome.
And now, losing and giving over another bonus. This feels like it's curtains for MIBR on this map. This would have to be a monstrous run back, better than the one that they were able to put up from the defender's side.
Tino on a Guardian, mostly Sheriffs otherwise. Verno with that Bandit again. 3 ends. Right around the door, just waiting for the contact. MIBR gonna try to pivot.
Well, Tex dead, Zekin fallen. Kashmaris is gonna be looking for the finisher and will be able to find it. And it's another one of those rounds that feels like it doesn't really matter which guns MIBR have in their hands. Heretics just have a chokehold on this map. They picked it for a reason, and they are putting that on display.
I love the way they play this, though. Like, there's a little bit of consideration for every angle. You got Rien's kind of washing the door, and when he realizes they're probably not going that way, we need to double up on the other side, give Boo a little bit of help. And Kashmaris here plays his life so nicely off of that boom bot. Doesn't try to, you know, you'll see a lot of players when they spray that boom bot, they're immediately trying to just pivot their, you know, crosshairs up to look for that player coming through the door. No, he's like, ooh, I should back up a little bit. You know, give those other 2 players. I know I've got the help over at A. They can swoop in, get a couple kills, and then I can swoop in. Little push and pull there. And that's so well coordinated by Heretics.
Well, final timeout call here for MIBR. Trying to somehow turn this around. And Heretics for the moment, I mean, they just have all of the momentum on their side.
It's something about this tournament, man. Gets them going. They're just looking so sharp today. And last year, obviously, you know, getting that big win.
A reverse sweep.
A reverse sweep against Fnatic. That is nothing to sneeze at, for sure. So, Kashmaris now.
Carries less weight this year. I kid. They're always a scary team.
I hope Boaster's watching.
Love you, Jake. Oh, Verno TP to the corner. Waiting out that paint shell. Now goes to the reposition.
Now you got this op. Talking about just the kind of uniqueness that Kashmaris brings. He can do just about everything for this Heretics team. This time around, looking for the angle. They're trying to spam for him. Doesn't really work there. Prowler does end up connecting. He just tried to hold through it. Tex has the angle, has the kill. Cyber Cage out, but Boo quick on the trade.
It's not going to be fast enough. Try to get that follow-up. Operator now into the hands of Boo. Wants to go for a peek, and Aspa says, you don't use that gun. That's my kind of gun. Dive in. Benji Fishy going to be spotted out. Quick little refract out. The dink into the spray down, though. There for Rien's. Finding that as blast pack forward. Just trying to offset Benji here as much as humanly possible as they try to get the surround going through. They can't quite split them apart, so Mazino will be able to find it. Rien's and Wu. Last one standing. It's going to be Verno. Quick out of the stairs. Cleans them both up. And MIBR, they deny that map point away for now.
That's really nicely played by Zekin there. I want to really highlight his individual movement, the way he's toying with that door, not giving up too much when he's trying to jiggle peek those angles, keeping Benji Fishy really uncomfortable. Very, very nicely done by him. Something he's always really impressed me with. Some of that little micro movement that he has. Jiggle peeking angles. You know, saw it earlier when they were on the other side of the coin. When he was peeking into the baby door link. Got a quick kill. Just, it comes down to precision. Zekin is one of the best.
Sticking it. Benji very suspicious about this, but doesn't look like he's going to be ready for this angle. And Verno will eventually be able to find the kill. Tech's now going to be looking for Woot. Crosshair not quite placed to be able to get that one tap, so Tech's going to be forced away. Quite a bit of damage going to be suffered as well. Paint Shell's going to be lobbed in. Aspas at the same time, operating solo, and despite being spotted, Pooh is just not looking in the right direction. The up and over, Woot plants his feet, and now rests on the floor. Aspas not to be denied. This is the kind of shift. This is the kind of read that you need to be seeing from MIBR if they want to complete this run back. They will get themselves up to 7, still going to be down by 4. So Aspas wants to try to take this operator out of the equation, out of Kashmaris' hands. Spot out. Zekin would have to tap the door to try to get on the flank. So Kashmaris is going to be decently favored to retain this operator, but otherwise MIBR looking at a potential flawless unless this kill comes through, and it will. Can they catch him? Yes, they can. Second, the hell of a shot. Strikes him down. Looks like they will leave the op on the ground, but MIBR starting to find that footing yet again.
Yeah, I think this might be the time for another timeout here. Heretics may want to consider. They have enough for another buy. They have a lot of ults available as well. So it's just up to the coach. Do you want to give them another cycle, potentially? Crazy good stuff from Aspas there. Woot was trying to get in there and go for the old up close and personal, but he was not having any of it. But we keep rolling on. Aspas has a convergent pass. Mazzino with this Nightfall. So eyeing this C site as maybe a juicy target for that ult combo. Or at least
trying to play Boo in.
Yeah.
Still tucked behind this box, but they spam him out. A solid read coming through. Aspas able to find that kill. Benji Fishy gonna be def and spot out on the TP. Turns to the side, but Verno still gonna be just a little bit faster on that draw. The push forward. Verno still gonna be good for another. And so far, it's only Aspas taken down. Verno down to a sliver of HP, but still alive and willing to fight. AG now situated, and you talk about the money coming into this one now. There's significantly less of it available to Heretics, so they're gonna have to just back away and go for the save.
Yeah, for sure. Now I'd really like to see a timeout for Heretics to talk about this. The ults, every single one available. So now you've got the opportunity to use those to turn it around on its head. Again, a couple of your players are going to be nearly bankrupt, but those are okay players to have be in that scenario because it's the overdrive on Kashmaris and it's Woot with the showstopper. They don't necessarily need to buy. They can use those ults to potentially, just get kills as Kashmaris and then Woot get a kill, scoop up a gun. And then you've got some tools for retake there too. So I think you can play a little bit for contact here as Heretics try to lure MIBR Los into a false sense of security. Maybe drag him in towards A and then let loose with either the showstopper or the overdrive. You can do that on C too. So that's the kind of setup I'd like to see here. Maybe have a player in Baby Door, break it early. Have a couple. I liked that one setup Heretics had where they had 2 over at A, 1 in the Baby Door. Keep either Riens or Benji Fishy around that door, keeping that in check, and then waiting for your moment to pounce.
Still no timeout call. Weber's going to be trusting in the team to still get this one over the line. Says we have a stacked deck. But if you invest ultimates into this round and you're not able to find the win, it's going to be even more concerning. Boot dead. Morris with the judge. Sending out a couple warning shots, wanting to stave them off, dissuade them from pushing that side of the map. Second, he'll be walking into the sidelines of Benji Fishy, but very much does the same here against Aspas. As Boo now radically backpedal, still able to find another one. Verno going to be taken out through that cage. Still a player advantage. Convergent paths in the back pocket of Aspas, should he feel the need to use it. Morris the one to dodge the Prowler to scale forward, coming in. Overdrive now going to be Pop-Tex, eating quite a bit of damage here to start. Kashmaris jumping up on top of the wall, but that's going to be to his demise. His Tex will be able to claim him, and now it is just Riens who cannot get the clutch going. Another round over at MIBR, now suddenly 2 away from tying this up.
Well, now the alarm bell's beginning to ring, I think, a little bit in the Team Heretics camp. Kind of letting a few slip through here. I think maybe going for some opportunities, not really utilizing these ults, I think, effectively in their situation. Just trying to go for some individual plays where they get some kills, set things a little bit off balance. Woot just diving in with a shotgun. No timeout still. Kashmaris with another Ares. Spectre for Boo. Rien's gonna have the only rifle. A reveal, no opportunity though for Woot to punish. This time around, playing a little bit more contain our Heretics.
There.
Obviously, MIBR Los, we've seen this the last couple rounds where they're very cautious at the beginning of these. They know that that showstopper is there, so they want to make sure they're not going to be falling prey to it. Convergent paths if that Prowler were to connect, but does not. So it's going to be saving that in the back pocket. Zekken one away from a showstopper as well. So this is all signs pointing to MIBR taking this to 10 in my mind right now.
It would have to be a massive, steel guard and retake there, maybe with that showstopper as well layered in. Well, it's just a bit of a choke from MIBR, it would feel like. Aspas going for the up and over. Boo holding on to that paranoia here for the moment, but might just be holding to the next round. Yeah, he's just gonna get grounded to a fine pace as Rien's drop is gonna be able to find one, looking for the other, but the Saturate denies him the aim. Mazzino collects a fourth, and MIBR are knocking on Heretics' door.
Oh boy. Starting to get real scary. A nice haunt there. Boo just stuck, and Boo looking a little flustered. Gesturing there that, hey, we need to figure something out, guys. And again, you're sitting on so many ults here. They had used these a little bit earlier. Even if the rounds hadn't got their way, they could have maybe come into another ult cycle. Now you're sort of stuck with what you're left with. I mean, hopefully you can use the 4 of them to get 2 more rounds, but MIBR Los is into an ult cycle as well. So you're kind of playing with fire a little bit here. Against a team like MIBR Los, you will get burnt.
It feels like this is one of those rounds that's going to make or break it. You either get up to map point, guarantee at least an overtime, or MIBR tie it up and in all likelihood take away any and all momentum, all of the win that was in your sails.
Well, that's what's so concerning. This felt so heavily favored for Heretics, who have been really streaky. Maybe it's about time to get that streak going again and get the final 2 to close it out. Zekin and Aspas both have their ults. Vernal one away from an ult that we've already seen have impact for him. So normally you kind of poo-poo the Omen ult, but in this case, Vernal's already shown that it can get some value.
Fast showstopper. Widely unassisted. And Widely without a potential target. Vernal's going to be taken down, but Benji Pitch is going to be found by Mazzino. Showstopper into the back of the site. Nothing going to be found there. Rien's deafened up, but still able to turn back. Finds the fight win. Versus Aspas and finds the one tap on the Tex. 2v3 the Prowler. Seeing, yes, he is in fact still in this position. Rien's very much a player to be feared. They're going to look to double back on this one, though. Like, it's not going to be the scale into A. It's going to be the full retreat back towards spawn and maybe a pivot into C.
This is a nice smoke from Boo. I think they want them to go the other way. Stall them out a little bit. Actually, they're thinking maybe they had disrespected that smoke and they're going to go towards A. So Heretics here just a bit off the mark. Still gonna have a couple pieces of util for the retake potentially.
Sees Haunt is there.
Exactly what I was looking at.
Smokes for Boo.
Yep.
With the plant into the hands of Mazzino will give him a nightfall. Another opportunity. Another piece of the puzzle. Try to tie this up.
And they've planted for Mound. Makes it all the more difficult, but there is the smoke here for Boo.
Tap of the door, the Haunt to be cleared. The swing gonna be coming in. It's all one after the other! And they all fall to the wayside! MIBR take that 10 times out of 10! Heretics making it easy for them!
They just never really read that they've set up on Mound. It doesn't occur to them until it's far too late. Oh my, oh no. That is devastating.
As soon as the Haunt is cleared, you have to be wary. Why would the two players defending the spike be playing separate from one another?
Right.
A thought lost in the chaos. As Woot now trying to scale, catches a spot out, and Aspas eats an immense amount of damage.
Just maybe a misjudge. Ooh, what a belter from Tex. So rips Kashmaris' head off. Does take some damage from that Marshall in response, but couple ults still in the back pocket. Heretics could get the Thrifty to go off the back of some of that. I mean, you still have that Nightfall, still have Vernal's ult as well. Woot, who knows?
As that showstopper, there's the up and over. Aspas just going on a scouting mission. As that refract at the safety, Paint Shell to try to delay. Zekin!
Wow.
Sniped out of the sky. Just couldn't quite build up the momentum with those blast packs. He ends up getting caught. The Nightfall across the scale into the back, and Verno able to intercept the rocket. Shut down. He's looking for more, but he thought he confirmed the kill. Offsets the spray just a little bit too quickly, but Rienz cannot escape, cannot tuck away. TP4 reposition from Boo. A plant behind the pillar, unbangable there. Can't try to get the damage in, and Boo cannot find the shot. And repositioning, evacuating the area. Are creeping up into him though, and he's made up for it. Being able to find the one, and now it comes down to Benji fishing. Steel Garden, however, can be avoided. Plenty of pockets to try to tuck into. A safe-ish plant allows him to isolate the kills. Benji on the swing, gets it done! Finds a two to get the clutch, and Team Heretics rescue the round in thrifty fashion. They move up to map point.
Oh boy, this is just so back and forth, but Woot, that shot he hit on the entry of Zekken, disgusting to say the least. One of those ones that you're gonna look back to as an absolute difference maker, and then you think maybe he beefed it, but then Verno went for the spray, thought he had a player and was trying to transfer already, but hadn't confirmed the kill. And that left him kind of dead to rights for a moment. Some individual mistakes that hurt MIBR Los there. Now Kashmaris can get that Odin. Huge swing. Aspas into that op. Not able to find any joy. Over in towards the C site, and away we go.
Oh, the up and over, the shorty able to find it, and Aspas gets out like a thief in the night. Relay bolt to further delay the scale forward. Gosh, man, he's got no idea if they made their way through that haunt. Will now tell them all. But they hear that Odin. The call for MIBR going to be to just pump the brakes for now. Play this one a little bit more slowly, but the Prowler confirming that there's still at least some forward presence. Corpses in backside, so getting the neural depth going to prove to be difficult as, oh, he is hunting for him, and Aspas torn asunder down to 4 HP. Consideration on that slide in towards water, but will be canceled. Rien's now going to be spotted out, tucks away back over at Waterfall to safety. Being revealed out, and once again, looking like they want to try to go for this Mount Protect, but this time they will leave a couple players forward into the sides, but it's damage found on a Mazzino. Quick clear of the haunt. An exchange. Aspas with the operator, able to find Woot. Kashmir strikes back. Still a player disadvantage. Now equalized. Rienz able to take down Mazzino. The swing in the corner though, and one by one they fall. It's 12-12. MIBR, they take it to overtime.
Oh boy. This one on a knife's edge, and I cannot believe the gall that MIBR has to just keep pushing there on C. After getting confirmation of the Odin, after knowing the fades there too, you know, they're looking for an attempt at a re-clear. They're holding the line, and then they just say, you know what, we've already taken one down. At worst, we have two. Let's make a go for it, and it is by narrow margins. That Odin does a ton of damage through those walls, but they're able to escape to the safety of the mound. 3 players there. Another hold for MIBR to send us into OT. Suspected this one might be a banger. Absolutely delivering.
You have to imagine whichever team fails to get the win here on this map, they're going to be feeling pretty damn exhausted. Swinging though, and Aspas, what a shot. That's the operator dealt with immediately as Mazzino and Zekken get involved as well. Kashmir's only able to find that singular kill. A lot of start here for MIBR to try to steal this map away. Both pistols lost, both bonuses converted for Heretics. The fact that they're in this position is already damn impressive, and now they're looking to take this up to match point for themselves. Swing in the corner, and Kashmaris just cannot get that op to sing. Benji, the last one, spots the shoulder, but it's all a bit of a distraction, and Zekken will collect the third, and MIBR are 1 round away from taking Lotus.
Yeah, just a commit early to the rubble fight. And Aspas, so quick, has a tight angle, and just gets that instant headshot. Difference maker in that one to open up that extra bit of space there. And then Heretics is trying to scramble and recover, and there's reinforcements behind him. They knock down 2 more. Something that we didn't see a ton of was those early rubble fights between these 2 teams. They were playing it very cautiously around each other. Now they both decide to try to turn up, and It was a shutdown. So Heretics used their timeout. A lot to talk about here, because even though both teams went 7 and 5 on their attacker side, you know, still feel like it's almost a coin flip. It was definitely MIBR who were better in the rifle rounds, and Zekken's having a blast up there. He's loving it.
I'm sure that all of them is happy to be back on a global stage.
For sure.
Now we wait.
Camps Paris at this point a long time ago.
Let's go.
MIBR, can they bring this to an end? Going to be seeing the operator here in the hands of Aspas. Opting to go for the Phantom. And once again, MIBR opting to explore around C to start.
Yeah, I mean, I think because you have the Waylay, you have a lot more comfort to deal with Utah. But look how far back Benji Fishy has placed the Vice Thorns and the Flash. But look at him, he went the other way.
I think he had the spot out. We'll take that refract out, but it's going to be a good amount of damage suffered by Aspas, down to 45. Only able to put Benji down to 80. Tex just frantically trying to make his exit, and he cannot root. Able to pursue fast enough, far enough forward to get that punish. Swing in, Verno dead, and Heretics now looking for that reset as they are just swinging to their demise. Zekken trying to recover the spike, has to dodge the C's. There's 2 players here on the B site. This should be absolutely undoable. Have to be a miracle. Get back into it from here. Took the timeout call, exactly what Heretics needed. As they look to pull off a flawless round to bring this back to parity. Boombot quickly cleared the jump spot punish. Woot finds himself a third, and Rienz has the finisher. It's a flawless for Heretics to tie it 13-13.
Huge. That was a much needed timeout there. This time around, Heretics want to take that AA Rebel fight a little bit late. They're a little bit smart about how they isolate Tex and then kind of force the issue right as there's a peel back from the C site, from MIBR Los, and they want to go the other direction, and then because Tex dies, they can't. They've lost that ground, they've lost that comfort, and they have to force their way onto C. That means those players on Team Heretics can just hold the line, plant their feet. Away we go. Woot and Kosmar is instantly up 2.
Immense improvements compared to the first outing. 2 quick kills found. Still the 3 deadliest members of MIBR alive and in the mix here is Spray and Pray looking for Rienz, but they're unable to find it. It's just going to be a tiny little bit of damage, but Zekken's going to eat more in kind. Paint shell to the corner. Rush on the repeat will lose his head, but here's the reveal. Both players worked low. Zekken down to a sliver. Mazzino similarly eating a bit of damage here as the C's will connect on the Benji Fishy, but no one's there to try to flush him out. The 3v3, but it still feels so very favored for Team Heretics. It's just the duelists left once again. The swing in from Zekken punished. Aspas nearly spammed out, but the time is gone. He just cannot make it happen. He is surrounded, he is dead, and Heretics are back up to map point.
And this time, Heretics turns the Jets on and just comes out swinging. 2 quick kills right off the round drop. That's got MIBR reeling. That was about all you really needed here in this round. Then you're scrambling. I mean, sure, you get a couple spams through the walls and things like that to fall your way, but it's just too much for MIBR Los to climb through. So they say, oh boy, time to take our time out ourselves and see if we can get another reset going. Looked like it was maybe going to be their map. They get that defender side win initially, but Heretics answers right back. The firepower between these 2 teams, so impressive today. Just so much good, clean shooting. I'm so impressed by both squads. I mean, a lot of good changes, a lot of good adaptations, finding their moments to change the tempo here and there. What is this going to look like?
It needs to look clean. MIBR about to be pushing in against this Odin. Back into the hands of Koshmaris, trying to catch them off guard. And look at the potential fight we have outside of B. Slide in. He's going to be immediately dispatched. Woot only able to find the one before getting traded as well. That's a massive early victory here for MIBR. Benji Fishy alone on this side of the map, but it looks like MIBR will look to try to reroute. Slowly working their way back out towards that attacker's spawn.
Aspas popped that wall or not? It was pinged out, so no, he did not. He's just leaving it there. Doesn't want to give any indication just yet. Wants to make them still consider other ideas, but they're actually going to try to wait this out somehow, some way.
Who's going to stairs?
Blue's got the right read.
And Jiggle peeking it with that TP. The door now hit the Prowler, spotting out Benji's position. Orb getting taken. He's going to be good for one, but Aspas will just counter swing in. Some revenge for Mazzino. Now it's Rienz and Boo. Try to bring this back, to bring this map to an end. 2v3, it's absolutely doable. How many times have we seen these players clutch? They have it in them. They still have a paranoia as well. The Haunt, 2 Prowlers.
So much to clear this tree angle. The real wild card here is Tex.
He's got a cam available, but he hasn't set it up. Always playing back, so didn't get into a position to try to situate it, but you'd love to have that at the back of side towards drop. Meanwhile, tap of the defuse. The face forward, Boo able to find the first, but Aspas clean tap, takes down Rienz. Boo has to do it all again. The time is just not going to be on his side. They dance around his shots. It's 14-14. MIBR still in this fight.
Yeah, it's their turn this time to just hold the W key for a bit, go for those opening kills, win the battle at B main, and then use that extra player that they have to kind of work the map a little bit. Delayed push towards an identification of the util, but they're able to clear Benji Fishy out. Just a trade. Mazzino giving his life to tee up Aspas. Allows him to get some big kills in that round. 22 on the duelist for MIBR Los. Slower push this time, but C being identified. Verno has to get the heck out of there.
Now the TP ready. Makes his exit. Orb going to be grabbed by Woot. 2 charges from having a showstopper online. Aspas, though, so far forward. Ready to intercept and catch Koshmaris, who's completely unawares of this. And the dash forward, though, and Aspas delivers himself unto death as Boo will quickly strike him down. A duelist dead on either side.
Feeling invisible pressure there was Aspas. He had to get out like there was going to be another layer behind Koshmaris. Wasn't anything. So that at least evens it up for Heretics. Now they're going to be taking their time a bit. Look at Mazzino here. Just going to be hiding right around the corner behind that box. Him and Tex trying to use that trip as a kill trip around A if they go that way, but a pivot from Heretics. So this high-low stack, Verno Zekin. Is it gonna be identified in time? Should be, you would think.
Paranoia, Paint Shell, both available.
Haunt as well.
Boombot gonna lead the way. The Haunt gonna be cleared out. And Woot splash packs up on top of the box, is able to find Zekin. And that's that nade that could have critically delayed and denied this plant from coming in out of the equation completely. Having the tuck back, go for the reload. Haunt over the top as Tex tries to go scaling forward. 2 players going to be revealed. They have him lined up, but he's only able to collect the 1 kill as Rienz will mow down the remaining 2. Heretics once again up to map point.
Another nail biter of a round. But when it comes to parity, that's when MIBR tries to just split the map 2-2 and set up cheeky little trap plays. But with so much util still in the bank for Heretics, I'm not sure how I feel about that high-low setup. There's just too much to identify it and deal with it. They're able to get up on the box. There just isn't enough left. in the tank. MIBR gonna need to go huge here. Send us another reset. And that's at a spot out in Averno, so.
Aspas diving in, just gonna be eating some damage for free, relatively. Paranoia is gonna be exchanged. In the end, I mean, it's a stalemate. It's one that Heretics still benefit from. They maintain their positions. Now the scale forward gonna be attempted second. Trying to just flush Woot out of this position, and you absolutely need to. Eventually will be found. 3 players on either side of Rien's. The first to arrive on the scene. Goes for the peek, looks for the kill, can't quite find it. Now we'll have to backpedal away, wait for his reinforcements to come through.
That kid's gonna be one away from a showstopper after this plant. One more kill. That could be the difference maker that sends us into that next reset. Got a little bit to work with here. Kashmar still has the relay bolt.
Fast lane as well. Sees and a haunt available. Use the check close.
I'm out of here.
And no one spotted so far. Sees into the back, gonna be dodged second. Turns away at the worst possible moment though, and Kashmara's just barrel stuffs him from behind. The defuse is now being stuck. They have to scale forward. Verno dead. The round, it's gonna be over. They just stick it to completion, and Heretics gotta be wondering how in the hell they got away with that. 16 of 14. This Lotus, their map pick, it goes their way. But good Lord, were they pushed.
Yeah, this is by the thin of it didn't go great in some moments, but it was a lot of rounds strung together at times by Heretics. Narrow margins, but they get there just barely. It felt like it was going to be dominance. It felt like we were going to be going to Ascent lickety-split, but not quite.
Well, they extend our evening. They managed to find that win, but can they do the same on Ascent? That's MIBR Los's map pick coming up next, but I mentioned it before, you play a close game like that, especially on your opponent's map pick, and you fall just shy of the mark, being able to take it, that can take the wind out of your sails if you're MIBR. We'll see if that's going to be the case, but for now, let's send things back over to the Decon and the desk.
Thank you very much, guys, as it is the title defenders barely holding on in multiple overtimes, but get the job done. 16-14. Team Heretics up 1-0 over MIBR. Los, welcome back to the desk. Kukuka and Big Time. And man, Lotus, 3 sites, all of a sudden when it became clutch and MIBR's comeback, they just made it 1 site. It was just, we're playing on C. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is an incredibly close game. What is it about Lotus so far here at EWC? We keep going to the overtime. It's getting crazy, but this was a great match. Back and forth. Heretics, I think they show the mark of true champions, true fantastic teams. They're able to do this where the games get close. You know, sometimes the script isn't going your way and you're still managing to get those games across the line. That's such a crucial skill. So it's easy to see why they, you know, talked about a lot. One of the favorites here coming into EWC.
And do not get me wrong, but this game was too close for how much of an advantage Team Heretics was able to get at the beginning of both of them halves. They managed to convert both of their bonuses, starting each half with a 3-0 lead, right? And I think that they had a lot of control over the first half of the map. But MIBR bounced back immediately. The double duelist, extra aggressive, catching them in so many positions, making it for players like Boo, for players like Benji even sometimes, impossible to play in certain positions. Incredibly electric coming from them.
Yeah, look, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, you have to call it a duck.
It's Aspas.
To be honest, for me, I felt like MIBR were the better team here to take it to overtime with no pistols, no bonuses. That means you're winning the majority of those gun rounds, so it's got to be heartbreaking. They do all that hard work to get it to overtime where they really should have been favored because those are the gun rounds and they don't get it done.
Yeah, and in terms of EWC, this is their first loss as well. We saw this with 100 Thieves earlier. What were they going to do after they got punched in the face? But that was after 100 Thieves won the first map. Here, MIBR have to answer to the title defenders. Of course, that was Team Heretics' map pick. We are moving to the next map. That is MIBR's pick. So anything can happen here. But again, to finally see first blood from the Squad from Americas is a big deal.
It's a very big deal. Ascent is not going to be an easy map. We understand why they might have chosen it, and it's the fact that Kashmaras, as we were saying, moving on to the Phoenix, did not look very good. It might be a weakness for them. When we talk about making changes and how difficult it can be with this amount of short time, they could just go back to something that was working before. It is on Team Heretics to evaluate Neil to work from home and say, hey guys, this is what I saw, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do. And also, it is a weakness that you have exposed to the rest of the teams participating in the tournament that they will exploit. They're not new to this.
I mean, let's be real, MIBR are going to pick Ascent with good reason from what we saw against All Gamers. For me, I want to see them revert, move away from this comp. I didn't like Koshmaras on the Neon, and I just didn't like their general setups. It felt like they were getting run over by Shrimp and GRQ, so I need to see them redefine that as we move forward to the next map.
Well, the teams are in the team room getting prepared for that second map, Ascent. We'll be back after these short messages. Don't go anywhere. You're watching EWC 2026.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes...
ये 7 हॉर्सेस रॉ पायराइट फ्रेम आपको बिल्कुल फ्री में मिल जाएगा। आपको विश्वास नहीं हो रहा होगा तो अभी स्टॉक स्टोर की साइट पे जाइए, जिसमें आपको ये 7 हॉर्सेस रॉ पायराइट फ्रेम 100% कैशबैक के साथ मिलेगा। और ये 7 हॉर्सेस रॉ पायराइट फ्रेम के बारे में तो आप जानते ही होंगे कि भगवान सूर्य के साथ घोड़े आपके लाइफ में ग्रोथ, सक्सेस, अपॉर्चुनिटी लेकर आएंगे। और इसमें लगा हुआ रॉ पायराइट स्टोन आपके लाइफ में ढेर सारा पैसा लेकर आने का काम करेगा। तो अभी जाइए, ये 7 हॉर्सेस रॉ पायराइट फ्रेम स्टॉक स्टोर से ऑर्डर कर लीजिए। बहुत ही लिमिटेड स्टॉक बचा हुआ है 100% कैशबैक के साथ।
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Hi everyone, Jeannie here, and I'm joined with MIBR, where we're going to be testing their synergy off the server with the classic game of who is most likely to. Rules are pretty simple. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and then you just write the name down of the player who you think is most likely to do or not do the certain thing. Which player is most likely to sleep through their alarm?
There's only one answer.
Let's pull it off, man.
All right, let's put our whiteboards up.
Oh, yes.
And who are we agreeing on? Oh,
Bruno.
dang, what'd
Obviously.
you do?
What?
Yo, what? If it's
You're
not
late
so
today.
obviously Verno, then I don't know who it is.
What happened with Verno?
Nothing.
No.
I ain't no snitch.
Yeah.
Guessing.
Yeah.
As I write his name on a whiteboard.
We just guessed the same name.
I ain't no
actually.
snitch.
It's just like fell with you. You guys all agree on the same name.
Yeah.
All right, which player is the funniest?
Okay, we know that one too. I'm ready.
This one.
What is a rhyming, bro? I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
Gonna... What are you?
Yo, what are you doing, bro?
What is that?
What is going on?
What is that?
Yo, did you write with your left
What
hand?
do you write, bro? Alright.
on the case of survival, who's most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse the longest? The pudding himself.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why are you ready so much? Okay,
I'm ready.
All right, show us what you got, guys.
I have arguments as well. I think it's the same arguments as you.
Verna.
Verno?
Yeah, I said Berna.
I've been waiting for this day, bro. I'm telling you.
You're
That'd be
like,
so fun, bro.
I have arguments, but I think it's the same as you.
all right, you want to go for it?
My argument is that he's Texan. That's
Yeah.
all.
That's how that
They
needs to
have
be said.
guns.
That's
True.
Yeah.
That's how that
They're
needs to be
prepared
said.
for that.
Which player is most likely to become a coach? You ready, guys? Me.
I almost wrote Mazzino,
Okay.
but I feel like Verno is very like technical and like very like nerdy about certain aspects. I feel like he'd be like a good coach, you know what I mean? But honorable mention Mazzino for sure.
Who is most likely not to be a coach?
Tex.
I'd be a great coach.
No, I
bro.
would say Aspas. I would say
I would say Aspas as well.
Why
I'd
me?
say Aspas as well. Because you're gonna be DMing yourself, bro. You're
Yeah.
gonna be playing ranked yourself, bro. You're not gonna care about the
Bro,
team.
you will be coaching and then you will say, you out, I play.
Yeah, well, I guess we all agree on that
Clear
one.
answer.
Your answer. Erasing.
Well, thank you guys so much for calling each other out and sharing some of the lore. That's it from us over here. We're going to be heading back over to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome back to EWC 2026. It is 1-0 Los Niños, Team Heretics, the reigning EWC title holders up over MIBR Los. We got to take a closer look at MIBR Los and their relationships, who they think between each other, who would be a best coach, who wouldn't be a great coach. And they're going to need to dig into some of that interpersonal connection, that non-verbal connection, as they're battling against Team Heretics down 1-0 in this qualification match.
You know, the one that always gets me, it's who's the funniest. In these situations, we always talk about the presence of a vibes guy. When you're building a roster, you need a guy who can be in that back room, make everybody laugh and go, hey, it's okay. We should have won that game, and it doesn't even matter. If you get two in your head, that's when these series can start to spiral. So, Verno, a lot of pressure on you there, buddy. They voted that this is your job right now.
I think that they did not necessarily have to go together. What if you're like very funny when you're in a good mood, but then on match day you shut down?
That's true. That happens. That happens. Hey, that's a bad trait. That's a bad trait to have as a player. Let's hope it's not that.
What is the vibes guy? When you think of vibes guy across your career, coaching big time, and then for you, Kukuka, in terms of casting, who are the vibe guys?
When I worked with Texture was one of the funniest guys I've ever got to work with. He's incredibly funny. So, yeah, it really does make a big difference. I feel like when you've got a vibes guy that's good, you know, you feel so resilient.
To me, the funniest caster is Pansy. She's incredibly funny.
She's
she has the
very
most contagious laugh ever. Like, doesn't matter. Sometimes I'm walking around the studio because I'm doing something, and she's casting, and she starts laughing with Hypok, and I just have to stop and laugh because it is impossible not to. I think that those two, yeah.
Well, the vibes need to be high for both these squads. Team Heretics trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs and take that top seed in their title defense of the first ever Valorant EWC title. And for MIBR, this was their first loss in EWC, including qualification, trying to bounce back. If they lose this series, they still have another opportunity, but they've been so close so many times throughout this America season.
Yeah, I mean, very much so. And even in that first map, I felt like they were really quite the better team, but they couldn't make it happen. Heretics too solid where it counts. Now we're moving on to Ascent. As you said, this is MIBR's pick, and it is a map that didn't look strong for Team Heretics. So I think that right now, I'm favoring MIBR for this, but it does depend on what's changed for Heretics. Koshmaras, though, sticking with that Phoenix.
And actually, the change is going to come on the other side. And something that I wanted to mention is that, yes, MIBR did play this Ascent in the qualifier, but they still had not played it here. And based on what they had done with Lotus, it makes sense that Aspas is now going to be playing on the Waylay. They were going for the Neon Jet before, but after the prowess that we have seen from Lotus and how much he was able to get every single round, this is an absolute menace. And especially even though they're starting on the attack, I do not think that this is necessarily a bad thing. Positive for Heretics today, to me, is the fact that they kept the cool. They were pushed onto overtime, and I saw a Wood that was able to perform under that kind of pressure. Will they be able to close it in too? Because MIBR is not going to make it any easy for them.
Final thoughts, Big Time?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I want to see a step up from Koshmaras. When we've seen him not on this Neon, it was disappointing. If they're going to get this done in 2, I'm putting in a lot of weight on his shoulders to be able to convert here. He's going to have a very important job. Aspas is going to be getting that operator out, especially in that second half. The flashes will be everything to deny him that space, and he has to snowball those ultimates when he can't have that movement ability. So, for me, I want to see a big, big performance from him.
In terms of the duelists, that's where the difference will be. It is Waylay and Neon for the side of MIBR Los. It is Jet and Phoenix for the side of Team Heretics. Koshmars still waiting to have that marquee moment. Hasn't had the pop-off yet, but we've seen that happen by many duelists on the Phoenix here at Ascent throughout EWC. Let's see what happens here as we send it back on over to our casters, Achilles and Paper Thin.
Heretics, they have the upper hand. They take that opening map. Grueling, yes, but they managed to secure it 16-14. As the desk was talking about, this is going to be a big test for them if they want to get it done in 2. Our eyes have to go to the duelists in Woot and Koshmaras to try to see if they can continue to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's not just those two. It's the game plan in general here for Heretics. They got pretty easily dispatched by AG on this map, so everything's just got to click a little bit better. And yeah, sure, Koshmaras and Woot, you want to get more value out of them. Benji did not have a great map. It was just kind of an all-around discombobulated looking Heretics. They just never really found their footing from the get-go. Both pistols went AG.AL's way. So if they could start off on the right foot here, like they did on Lotus, getting both pistols, and who knows, maybe converting yet another bonus, feels like that could be necessary. They're going to take this 2-0. Right, a little bit of a different look. And that's a great opener for Woot.
That's a fantastic one. Verno dead. Dash to the other side. Refaces forward. Finds Aspas immediately. And right now, Heretics, they're looking to go 3 for 3 on pistols. Mazzino eating some damage, eating a bullet. Rienz is able to find that kill. And this crunch into mid. It's got Heretics written all over it. Zakin just going to be shock darted down. Takes Benji with him. Will stop this from being a flawless, but now it's just Tex deep on a flank. But all angles are being watched.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that there's much Tex can do in this scenario. He's going to try and take his time. Maybe even talk a little bit about what's going on with the team. Just a nice setup, a good read early from Heretics. Woot, get the spot on him here relatively shortly.
I've seen a bit of the cape there. Either way, Woot is dialed in. 3 kills for him to start on the Jet. Knives will be online very quickly. And it is yet another pistol into the hands of Heretics, as they're going to look for just perfection when it comes down to bonus conversion at this point.
For sure. And this time, begins on the back of Woot. Gets a quarter of the kills in this round that he got all of against AG.AL on Ascent. They played the other day. So, hot start, but just a really good read, and that's a great curveball there set up to catch Aspas, knowing that somebody might have had drifted around that angle already. Couple Bulldogs. Woot with a Judge. Koshmaras with a Guardian. Doing a little bit of spam.
Mazzino is absolutely been lit up. Second pushing forward is going to be able to find the one. Koshmaras, however, has that Guardian in hand. Matches the enemy Neon. Benji Fishy still here to anchor the site. Does need some assistance, but Koshmaras able to find another as Verno will fall. A gun going to be collected, but it's just 8 HP on Aspas to try to make a use of that. And Tex, yep. Not much more you could have done there. For Aspas, any damage is going to be good damage. He will be able to find the one. Koshmaras will fall. We'll collect it. Bulldogs to be carried over. Perhaps the Guardians as well, depending on the swaps decided. But the defuse is in, and Heretics will start things off 2-0.
Yeah, they've got some good coverage here. Do Heretics at the front of the site, but I think it's a little bit worrying that still MIBR are able to find some way forward. and even get into the plant, drop some guns. So all things considered, a pretty nice eco for MIBR. And Zekin wins a duel against a Ghost there, and then things just kind of crumble one by one. And just enough in the tank still. So you're going to grab a Guardian. Otherwise, just a couple pistols. Actually, Rien's upgrades to a Phantom here. There's a little bit of cash still, so... Oh. Maybe passes it over to Kashmaris. And a Bucky for Woot. Last second swap there.
He's got the Sheriff as well. Longer range engagements. He has been hitting with it, so don't blame him for saying, yeah, well, you take the Guardian. Or Boo, rather.
Yeah, Boo, for sure.
Brain fade for a moment. Is drone out. Just going to be spawning out one. Zekin potentially pushing forward towards this Bucky.
Should be noted, Verno did grab an Odin here, too. So, post-plant annoyance for MIBR if they can get there. Ian's going to counter with a drone. Tex going to be identified.
Backpedaling away, now going to get caught by the curveball, and he's able to find both. Benji and Kashmaris both just not quite able to clear that corner together. So Tex takes minor damage, is able to find that kill, but it's still a damn good shot from Rien's. Even just to get the one. Not looking well suited to go ahead and convert this bonus, but credit where it's due. The door's shut, footsteps being made. We will just look to weaken this, clear it out. Silently repositions back towards Alley alongside Woot. That one's been burned, so it doesn't really have an easy way to try to close a gap, so we'll just swap over to the Sheriff. Looking for a target, but Ozpos dialed in on the angle. Has it ready to go. Now it's just down to Boo, try to see if he can find some more damage, and he does. Clean one tap, and Boo, you can't be doing it again. They haven't gotten an anti-bonus yet. Time is going to be gone here for Boo, but he could absolutely take all of the guns out of their hands. Or at least one more. Here's Verno, who's going to try to run him down. Pre-fire will go through. The headshot will connect, and MIBR will get themselves on board in round 3, but still ends up being quite costly.
I'm pretty sure that Kashmaris threw his hot hands and not a curveball around that corner when they tried to swing.
How'd he done?
Watch it again if they show it in the replay. No.
Nope.
Darn it.
You know what? You're
because
right.
It was an overhand throw.
Oh.
And I think he might have, I don't know if that's intentional or not. Hard to say. You know, you never know if they just assumed that Tex was going to beeline it back and that they were going to catch him.
Have to scrub it back on the Vaughn. Give it an investigation after this round, perhaps. A dive in. Kashmar's going to be eating quite a bit of damage. That Shorty just can't quite confirm the kill. Clear the trip. Kashmar's now going to be realizing that he is surrounded. Could just tap the door switch. Prevent that flank from coming through, but for now we'll leave it open. And yeah, did get the spot out. Knows that Mazzino had scaled forward. Can he win this fight? The answer is no. Mazzino clean on the reapproach. Swings out of the smoke. Takes down the enemy Phoenix. Swoot now on the arrival. Has the op in hand. Quick peeks. Finds Aspas. Tex now going to be taken down as well as Boo. Holding his own at hell. Gets himself a second. Now the backstab is in from Benji. And Heretics move up 3-1.
Oh, what a retake here from Heretics. The push and the pull. So good. And the instant shot from Woot, who has been really on point so far here on Ascent. That is insane. And the rest of the team just working in conjunction. And Boo, another big double kill. Absolutely ridiculous. That means you're going to be able to push MIBR onto a very weak buy. Aspas going to have the hero rifle. Was I right?
We'll go over that in a moment. I did scrub back through the video. It's a little bit of a yes and no.
Oh, okay.
And second for now, going to be contained, not wanting to push out of this cage blind. Recon as well, layered just to further keep them in position. And now the Molly layered in, and this has just been such a clean slam of the door,
Whoa.
but a clean shot from Aspas, finding Woot, getting rid of that operator. However, the kills in reply, gonna be looking damn good! As Benji Fishy tries to find the 4K, he cannot, but Verno just down to 5 HP. Players given an opportunity to get into closer proximity before the plant can come in. And this stops Verno from really even being able to try to play the clock. Ball not to connect. They know that he's just boxed in.
About the last player I'd want to be going up against in this clutch, though. How good he's been here in Paris.
You know he can be capable of it, but Koshmaris just has the timing. The swing out, and 4-1. Heretics looking significantly stronger here on Ascent compared to their last outing.
For sure, and just really good ideas on how to hold these quick B hits. Even though you lose that op early to Aspas, Benji Fishy knows exactly what he needs to do. Second layer there. Able to get 3 kills, almost had the 4th, but was dropping down, and the aim was a little bit wonky.
To go back to it was a curveball to go for the approach in the lobby, and then didn't really register how far forward the player was, so he then sent the hot hands.
He had the ping on him.
A little bit of miscommunication. Either way, Heretics gonna look to just shrug that off as, oh, good God, it's a leg shot onto Zekin, and then a tailwind forward. Big fat finger, and Koshmaris now falling into very much the same trap, trying to scale forward. Benji Fishy, however, off that neural theft reveal, will be able to find Tex.
Ooh.
Tripwire, locking Aspas down in position. He's at 1 HP. Drone to check. Mazzino going to be revealed up close. No, ping doesn't go through. Actually clears that a little bit faster, but now... I think that was Tex's neural. Benji just got him on the spray. Here we go. Either way, Aspas going to be finished off. It's Verno and Mazzino now to try to clutch us out. The door shut, the shock dart just a little bit late. Verno not going to be taking any damage from that.
Who's got his ult? I wouldn't mind seeing a reposition, but or at least a check towards main. I'm just going to go for it.
He's across into the smoke. The door now broken. Verno going to be put under some more pressure here from behind, but there's the reveal, and he's got him all banged out with the Odin. Now the one player's position. They have to try to clear these. The tap of the defuse, the swing around from the back. It's going to be Mazzino out from main. In fact, to be able to find those kills. MIBR scraping by with the win. He managed to move up to 2.
Able to hold the line there nicely. A really well-timed recon dart. Verno's so important in those scenarios. Has so much util left. And he can identify what's going on, even with that player disadvantage. Looked like maybe it was going to be an opportunity again for Heretics to get the retake to go. At recon dart, the spot. You got the Odin. You can drone out there as well. And Heretics is left trying to figure out which angle they need to fight.
We're looking for a crunch here. And Woot just going to be contained into the corner, but there's the reveal, and Koshmaris is able to find one. Woot looking for a little bit more, gets Verno. The updraft, the check, turn to the side. Second is there, lying in wait, finds that kill, but Koshmaris got the fadeaway right click. Connects to the skull of Aspas. So far, so very good for Heretics.
I love the confidence from this Heretics team today.
I have retrieved the
willing to take these aggressive fights.
Oh, and to not just back out. Took so long for that recon to come through. Which is eating damage, but he stays statuesque. In position. It's rewarded for it. The reapproach around the back. Benji Fishy here. Waiting. Killing. Finds the first. Finds the second. It's clean taps. It's a clean round. Just Woot dead. Every time MIBR try to take a step forward, they are shoved back.
And now, starting to see a little bit of stress from Mazzino. See, he's trying to figure out what is going on. They've been making some good reads here today. Nice work off of that Blade Storm, too. There's going to be that timeout. Fraud needs to get in there. Get some more rounds out of this attacker side. Sure, it's Ascent. No, but with that Waylay Neon, certainly feel like I would assume that in scrims, your attack side goes relatively well, more often than not. So you need to correct course quickly. Figure out how you can get some more value. So far, some of these dives from Aspas, the positioning from Heretics, especially on that B site, has been really, really good at shutting him down, not giving him opportunities to really get value. You know, you saw it a lot on Lotus where almost every time his initial dive was just like an info gather, but here they're a little more hard committing on some of these executes. And Heretics has, more often than not, stood up to the test. Benji Fishy, phenomenal start for him. 9 and 5 has been a nightmare to deal with on this B site. Right around that corner, off of the ledge. It's gotten a lot of kills there. As players try to break out through the choke. Oh.
Sound of the open. Looking to try to track that one down. The re-peek from Woot. It's a fast adjustment to find Tex as well. Verno dead, and this timeout is not going to lead to a damn thing. The dash, the refract already burnt. What are you meant to do with a shorty? Grab of the orb. Consideration of swapping the weaponry here. See if Osmos can find anything else on the floor.
He's chuckling a bit. He knows he's got to get in there and die and get his ult.
DP to Wine. Dialed in on that angle, and it's another 1-2 punch from Woot. A flawless round as he picks up the 4K, and Team Heretics maintain dominance.
I just love it when Woot starts to heat up. He is so clean. Like that second shot he had at the door of A here was this, not this
great.
one. Not this
Calls
one.
to the omens there, and he goes, oh, hey, real quick, let me grab that.
So sick. Started with the pistol. He's kept that momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel you, Zekin. We saw it. It was pretty good.
When I think of Woot, I still think back to Master Shanghai, some of the stuff that he was doing.
Yeah.
When he was, they had a fill-in.
Right.
They had Patatek subbing with them.
And Woot was going absolutely crazy.
Woot was that player that you were so very terrified of. Didn't look this way the last time they played this map, but right now, it looks like he has refound that form.
Look at the coordination. It's so well drilled today for Heretics.
Thrown over the top. Not necessarily. Oh, there it is. There's a spot out. Surely Rien's noticed. Absolutely has it now. The recon over the top going to be cleared. Kosmaris more than happy to make his presence known on this side. Try to prevent that swing through. Rien's alive.
Heretics going for the concave contain. Casino did get the spot out of Benji Fish. A little bit of damage.
A little bit, but run it back, going to be sent. Zeno will be able to strike him down. Paranoia over towards Benji's side. Kosmaris, however, just refaces forward. And Zeno was not ready for it. Verno now dead. Second gone. Kosmaris finds himself a second. Ospas will refract back over onto Cat, but this is completely contained. Nowhere to go. No way to fight back.
I mean, the way that the Heretics right now are playing off of each other, easily able to adjust from that tough loss to AG.AL the other day on this very map. I mean, it's all about the timing and the coordination. Like they're using their utility to play off each other. Started with the recon dart into the setup for Woot. Then you're going to use that ult to get Mazzino in a bad position where even if he paranoias Benji Fishy, Kosmaris is there to make sure that he can't go any further forward. Just all those little duo plays that are in sync today for Team Heretics.
Knock Dart finds Mazzino down to 60. Trying to clear these trips, but not on this main position. Second with that Stinger in range. Still going to be able to out-duel Rien's, but Benji still here, still present. Chases forward, clears that drone. As the counter spam here from Kosmaris, still going to be rewarded. Silently repositions, doesn't have the util to try to heal himself back up, but it just doesn't feel like it matters at all. So much damage dealt, the weaponry not there for MIBR. Ospas now dead. Kosmaris refaces, looks to try to just get that double spray down, but the Tex will be able to find one more. Just a matter of time, and yep, will be Boo. Out from Alley. Come away with the kill. And MIBR, I think you have to call that second timeout. It's a tough pill to swallow. But the team right now, they are drowning.
They need a life raft. No doubt about it. This time they try something a little bit different. Send Zekin out first. And even though he's able to find one, Benji, with a cheeky little maneuver around his cyber cage, able to find the kill onto him, and the rest of the team is gummed up trying to get out of that choke. Because Heretics has a couple other players there. Like to see something behind this convergent pass from Aspas. He's been sitting on this for a couple rounds. Verno went away. Tex went away.
No life raft, though.
Well, you got to inflate it.
They might need the whole Coast Guard at this point to try to rescue them. See if they can get it done. Like you say, a lot of these ultimates just on the cusp of being available. Faceboard, there goes one of the ults that you got. Who just absolutely bodies Aspas there at Tree.
That was incredible.
Flash not really going to be connecting, but Boo again, reface. They're just playing off each other. You peek in, you bait, I swing, I kill. Verno, burnt down to 60, just trying to go on this approach. And what real space have you taken? None. It's all lost. The spike now on the floor. Clean shot from Tex. Spread it where it's due, but this is still such a steep uphill climb that they have to make. Rien's already inserting here behind on this flank. Mike can be grabbed up, but yeah, how are you meant to get to the site? You're not at all. Rien's will not allow it. Heretics. They get themselves a 9th round win. Looking to make this 10-2 at the half.
Well, the life raft has holes in it, and unlike the cartoons, does not make it go faster.
Oh, this is like when they pull a parachute and an anvil flies out of it instead.
Exactly.
They're just sinking.
It is incredible, though. But you hit the nail on the head, man. And the thing that I've been seeing this whole map is the coordination with the players. The push and the pull, the bait and switches. It's been so good. All right, this convergent pass. Oh, if Boo could bait this, I think he knows. He could TP out of it, but they're not going to rip it. I like the attempt. Boo's got the flow of the game.
The reposition. Aspas, yeah, he will be sending this, but Woot's already got a shot off. Second is dead. One of the tips of the spear already broken. The refract is out. Molly over towards main. Kashmaris, that's just the ult. They can't find a kill. Tex contained by this trip. Woot still dialed in on the angle. Or will be once that smoke does fall. Kashmaris is able to find Aspas. And at the moment, MIBR just feels like they can do absolutely nothing right. Heretics have their number at every twist and turn. 10-2 on MIBR's map pick.
What a glow up since we last saw them on this map just 2 days ago. Everything looking so much better. Now, to be fair, we didn't get to see much of their defender side against AG.AL because it ended relatively quickly. But they're able to correct so much in such a short amount of time. And going over to this attacker side, if they've made similar adjustments, then they're sending MIBR packing. And they're sending themselves into the playoffs.
I mean, at this rate, given that all of the pistols have gone the way of Team Heretics, and for the analyst desk, if you're still in the green room listening to this, you might as well just come back out here because I think you're going to be on pretty damn quickly.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not counting the chickens just yet. They haven't hatched, but
you got to count the chickens that MIBR don't have. They have 2 chickens.
Oh, that we're starting backwards.
That's not a lot of chickens.
It's better than none. It is a set, man. I'm holding out a little bit of hope. I'll be the good cop here to your bad cop in this one. I'm still holding on hope.
Okay.
Not really, but you know, for the fans, I'm letting it be out there.
They need to make this 10-9 for me to start believing.
Oh, okay.
So it needs to be.
They got to string it together.
Yeah, it needs to be the next 7 rounds consecutively.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think this is going to end up being an incredibly fast series. I mean, the overtime aside, an incredibly fast series compared to what we fully anticipated coming into this.
I'm blown away. I thought after that overtime on Lotus, I'm like, oh, we're going to 3 maps for sure.
Well, after how Heretics played this map versus AG.AL.
Right.
Yeah, all signs are pointing towards Breeze. Bonus is on MIBR. Get us pointed in that direction yet again.
Certainly. And there's been some weird moments for them. I don't feel like they're as well coordinated here on Ascent. Like, you know, in that last round when they use the convergent paths, it feels like Somebody's peeking maybe onto Woot when they shouldn't be, and then Aspas is trying to dive in, and Verno's body blocking him. Just some really kind of uncomfortable moments where it feels like today, whatever juice that MIBR had against GE drained out of the cup. They're going to try something a little bit similar, a mid-crunch, but it's from a different area.
Upper runneth empty. See if they can find something here off this, but it's a full flash connecting on to Aspas, and he's completely alone and isolated at bench. Second now trying to peel back some of that pressure. It's a clean shot to the back of the skull to take down Koshmaris. Damage dealt here on both sides. It's Verno looking for the swing out, but Woot at the same time able to find second. Verno now backpedaling away. Woot dashes over and just mows both players down in market.
What?
Now just similar scenes as Verno. Isolated and alone, but this time he's on the defending side. And they can just run away from him, and that's exactly what they're doing. He will be able to somewhat quickly match this pace. Dirting his way back through the defender's spawn.
Want to see a good crossfire set up here. Don't give him the 1v1s, although they're going to send Riens for a late lurk, it looks like.
A double check around in mid. Make sure that that's going to be covered. You still have the trip, preventing him from scaling down into tree. This really isolates the options. So he's got that covered. You can just keep the two players at main.
Revealing area.
Con the check below. No one there at hell. But now they have the information, so Riens can get clustered. And he can get that util ready to fly. The time already bleeding away. Clears the recon, doesn't know which way they're going to be coming from, and Boo will be able to take him down. That is all 4 pistols in the hands of Heretics, and they are 2 rounds away from advancing forward and knocking MIBR down a peg.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like there's some pretty decent ideas here from MIBR, but, you know, they have that paranoia ready to tee up Zekken, who's able to rush quickly, but they're not really able to get there in time to do much to help Aspas, because there's a great flash out of the smoke. Leaves him out to dry. 6 kills is the most anybody has on MIBR Los right now. And there's 4 players with that number. Zekken can't find the 7th.
Aspas does get the scale off of this, but Blazewall looks to try to keep him contained. The face forward, it's going to be a good amount of damage found on the Riens. Otherwise, gets away with a decent amount of health remaining.
Should be noted, there is the buy-up.
Of course.
Stingers, as you would expect, given the scoreline. Kind of necessary.
Oh, I mean, if you don't go for force buy here, you don't want to win.
No, exactly, exactly.
And Drone getting the spot out, won't be able to make its way over to Wine to fully clear that angle. So recon does get sent. I now know that it's not occupied.
So much info on this map as Heretics. Oh, your flanks are going to be relatively clear.
Free fire attempt into the saturate, but it's going to be Koshmaris able to find one. Another backstep from Benji Fishy, striking as Mazzino will fall. Just trying to reinforce. Aspas just trying to give him some assistance, but they've given it all up. A-side prime for the taking. As it's Verno and Tex with 2 stingers to try to make anything happen. The door broken, a spot on the 1. Boot just pre-fires the cage, and they will both be found. Sight not necessary. Team Heretics are up to match point.
We're certainly seeing the best that Heretics has to offer today. It is peak right now on a set. And all of a sudden you went from thinking this might be a map that you could pick against this team to try to prey onto their weaknesses. No, no, no. They are not weak here at all. They are sturdy as all hell, to say the least. This is dominance on display. Aspas with a Guardian, bunch of stingers, Zekken on a Sheriff.
And I think a lot of the concerns about Koshmaris having a rougher time when he's not playing the Neon, they're going to get squashed a little bit after this one.
Said some nice stuff with the Phoenix.
He is right there alongside Woot. He's been playing in tandem with his teammates, setting them up for success.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what's been so impressive. It's every time he's making moves, there's somebody else there with him to play off of it.
Aspas. Oh, this angle is being watched. And he is just offered up on a silver platter. Riens feasting, finding the opening kill. 3 stingers and a Sheriff, 4 players. On MIBR lost that now need to be the difference makers.
I wonder what the idea behind this setup at B is if Team Heretics walks through it. A drone mid, not see a damn thing. Trip on the floor. Sova ready with the recon. Maybe looking for a timing hit and run, and then you can play off that trip behind it.
Ball to the corner. Shock dart into the cage. Customaire's going to be able to find one. Verno overwhelms the other. Gets himself a second elimination. Doing his damnedest. He's giving Zekin and Mazzino a chance. Moderate lifeline as the plant will come through. Fast lane going to be sent, and yep, it's just going to be a spray down yet again as Boonerians find the final shots. 13-2, absolute domination from Team Heretics. They will advance onward, putting MIBR Los now at risk of elimination. Heretics want that back-to-back trophy.
I mean, you have to love what you saw from Heretics today. The resilience and the tenacity on Lotus to hang with MIBR Los when they punched back and sent it to overtime and still get the win. And then here on Ascent to completely right the wrongs they had against AG.AL and to dominate 13-2. That is the stuff that makes you really start to think they could be going back to back.
A terrifying performance, and one that should strike fear into the hearts of all the other teams that might yet get to face them in the future. If Woot is going to be able to find that consistency on the Jet, if Kashmaris is going to be able to do the same on Phoenix, this is a terrifying prospect for all of those who may yet face Team Heretics here at EWC. But it's a big performance from everyone across the board. Benji with his moments, Rienz, of course, looking dominant, but Boo as well. Sometimes a player under a bit of scrutiny. He absolutely delivered. He guided his team to the victory. And now to break it all down, I'll send it back over to Digon and the desk.
Maybe a bit anticlimactic, but very emphatic. It is the title holders moving on to the playoffs. Team Heretics takes care of business against MIBR Los in a dominant fashion. As we are setting ourselves up for an interview with one of the members from Team Heretics, Digon here alongside Kukuka and Big Time. That was Achilles and Paper Thin on the cast, and a great one as well, but one of the shortest ones we've had so far.
We had different ideas going into this Ascent. Definitely Heretics learned from the last time that they played Ascent. What performance coming in for Wood. I know that we could see it definitely at the end of that first map, at the end of Lotus, but the fact that he is able to translate it into the Jet performance that we've just seen on Ascent, amazing. A 13-2 against MIBR. Many of those, they didn't stand a chance. The way that the Heretics was holding the positions and not giving them anything was insane.
I mean, that's the big thing for me. Yes, they were amazing individual performances, but I think the game plan was so solid. You saw how dominant that defender side was, 10-2. Only one of those rounds was won through defuse, because what would happen is they force out Asper's refract and they hold the chokes. There's no way to break it after that, and MIBR could not find the answer. Lovely work from the backroom staff there of Team Heretics, really showing their worth.
All right, it sounds like one of our interviews will be ready very, very soon with Boo and Gennaro, and Boo had himself a fantastic performance there, Big Time.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I think the AG.ALs are often the most overlooked. We talk about this time and time again. Boo has had his fair share of criticism in the past, but I think he's able to hold his own individually, especially in this tournament, and his game plan was spot on today.
All right, now that interview is ready. Let's send it on over to Gennaro, standing by with the victorious Boo.
Thank you, Digon. Boo, that was a phenomenal performance that we've just seen. 13-2 against MIBR on their own map pick. Were you surprised when they saw they picked Ascent against you, considering your win rate in VCT MEA?
I mean, maybe not surprised. We just realized that they thought maybe it's our weakness because we lost it before to all gamers. But it's not. We are comfortable on the map, and I'm happy they picked it because we got to play defense first, which is always a delightful thing, you know.
I would see that in the scoreline as well. You guys really did not let them breathe at all. But in general, when we're looking at the performance from Heretics side of things, it has been quite solid over the last two games that we've seen. You're now qualified as well to head into that playoffs bracket. So one step closer to defending your title. Was this the expectations you've had coming into this, considering how Masters London had gone?
I think our expectations for the tournament was to repair the damage that we did in London. I mean, okay, it sounds maybe brutal, but I think in London we we overworked, we focused on the wrong things, and this tournament was meant to get back on track and then see, you know, the results here are like a benchmark. Are we doing it well or not? I think so far we're doing it well. And yeah, I mean, we know we can win. I think others know that we can win. They can see from the games. So yeah, I think we're just gonna play it game by game. Same boring stuff as always.
Stuff as always, but it's working this time around. So I'm happy to hear as well that you're looking at improvements considering how Masters London went and bringing that improvements into EWC. So looking forward at the playoffs, looking at the fact that you've already qualified, is there anything in particular that you feel like you still have to really focus on once you're on that stage in front of the crowd?
Yes, I mean, micro and comms between us. You can never be too perfect on those things. Like those things that matter. Those things win, you know, the overtimes on fifth map and stuff like that. That's our main focus because it has been our weakness in London. It is something that we're not sometimes struggling on scrims as well. So that would be the thing we focus on the most. And in terms of macro, we are smart, we know what to do, but it just, once I call something, we need to execute it. That's the main part.
Well, thank you so much for the insight and congratulations again on winning and going to that main stage. That's it from us over here. We're going to be heading back over to the desk, so Digon, take it away.
Thank you very much, Ginny. As you know, something I like that Boo said there was in London, it wasn't a lack of the effort. It was the incorrect preparation, and that truly led us to our downfall. And here is the benchmark of the work since then, and we've focused on the right things, and now it's clearly starting to show.
It's difficult to be Team Heretics. It is difficult to be one of the teams that has been, you know, at the top of the Valorant scene for so long because the path has not been written. There is not a clear structure that you have to follow on how to progress once you've been together for 3 years. How do you keep improving? How can you go over and surpass the performances the new youngsters are coming, that the new metas are bringing from each corner of the world? That is one of the questions that Team Heretics had to answer for London. Couldn't find it, but it's so good to see that Boo is aware of it, that they have spoken about it. Also, super happy to see that cheeky smile when he's like, oh, it's nice to start on the defense on a set.
I mean, for me, I think I love how honest he was, where he said, you know, we overdid it in London. We overworked ourselves. They used that prep time and they trained a little bit too hard, pushed themselves so that they weren't ready for that when they came. So you can see the levity in their gameplay here today. See them having fun, shouting on that stage, and that's when this young squad is going to be at the best.
All right, well, it is a victory here for Team Heretics. And again, it was just so dominant, given how close that first map was, that it was surprising. And another example of a map pick getting turned around on its head. For MIBR Los, things to build on from that first one, really a throwaway kind of map here in map 2 as they go on to the elimination match.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were outclassed from a macro perspective on this one. They're going to watch this game back, and it's going to be immediately obvious what they should change. So yes, that's good to find out.
The pistols.
But I mean,
is it the pistols?
I mean, the pistols are a part of it for sure.
The pistols are a part of it.
They won't be pleased about that. But ultimately, I think they do have to take that back to the drawing board. They do have to redefine how they want to look at this map and get ready to move forward to that decided game. They're not out yet. One more chance for them, but they need to recapture that magic that we saw from them in their opening series against Global, not this one against Heretics.
I think that the Lotus is what they need to take out of this match. Yes, they didn't win it, but they were incredibly close. If there were not for the pistols and the bonuses, do not get in your head. I don't know if it was because they got too confident because of the win that they had against Global Esports, being like, if this is the form that we're going to bring and this is what we're going to be finding in the tournament, it's going to be an easy walk in the park. I doubt that that is the case, but I think that we all hope that this is an MIBR that bounces back incredibly quick, because it'd be kind of sad not having them in playoffs.
Yeah, it would be very difficult for them to have such a flawless run in Americas in terms of the qualifiers, and then stunt on out. They will play the winner of AG.AL and Global Esports, and Global Esports decided to wake up, won a couple of rounds there, and making it despite being down 1-0 against AG.AL. That will be tomorrow's elimination match for MIBR. But we've got an elimination match right now. Rorgar and the rest of XLG going up against G2. We'll have that and set that up for you in just a bit.
goes up. Door goes down. Door goes up. Door goes down. Door goes up. Door goes down. Oh, shit.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Hello everybody, Achilles here. I'm with WS Leo from XLG. Now, we of course, at Masters London, which you were just competing at, had this new map, Summit, unveiled. When you're playing the defender side, especially, you really have to fight forward and not allow for, easy takes at the sites and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's going to be a very rough time for defenders to try to, get back onto the site.
Maybe defender need to get more space after attacker side plant a bomb. Maybe you should push from middle and maybe attack them from behind and get more space as you can.
So if we can go over to the sites, one of the other things that I'm very curious about seeing with a lot of the players is your best spike plant setup is going to be. So we'll start here on the B side. So imagine you're playing from the attacker side. Where do you think he's going to give you the most advantage to be able to defend the spike?
Plant here.
Just outside the box. So you have to inch in a little bit more.
So actually you can defend from this angle, you can hold from this angle, or you can even take here, and also you have left lurker here. You can also see bomb here, and if you want to push, if they didn't break the door, you can also shoot from here, and you cut the half of the radius of the spike, so then you can only defuse from here, this angle.
Do you see this being double controller map, double duelist map, double initiator, or maybe something completely different, triple initiator?
Maybe 2 smokes, because you see it's very separate. It's very big map. B side cannot help A side guys. So I think 2 smoke will get more time for your team to help.
Because so far, I'd say B side, most people have come up with the same ideas. A side, I've gotten completely different answers. So obviously, it's just this small L bend. Where do you think is the best place to plant the spike?
Most of player might be planting here for safe plan. I think most valuable plan might be here, because you see this angle can only be hold here. It's very bad plan, I say. So maybe you plan it here and make your team maybe keep pushing to your city Okay. Right, so you can have this angle, and you can also have sight. So you get more space. Win rate is more higher, I think.
I think that just about does it. Leo, thank you so much for joining me for this one. Best of luck here at EWC as well as in Stage 2. And can't wait to see XLG back on another global stage.
Thank you very
That's
much.
it from us. Thank you, guys.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Esports World Cup 2026 Valorant. We have qualified one of the squads on in today in Team Heretics, and now we move on over to Group C, where we have one of the most anticipated rematches from Masters London. It is the champions of America up against XLG. G2 and XLG going head to head, and this was one of those iconic moments. Now it's going to be a meme that lives on forever in Valorant lore and in esports lore. G2, they get the draw, they get to select XLG, and they promptly get bodied by XLG, bounced from Masters London, and they won't underestimate their opponents today.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's infamous at this point. It's hard not to talk about it. Thank you to the scriptwriters of EWC for letting us get this matchup. Very, very pleased with that because, my goodness, G2 are going to want to be able to run this back. And I mean, I can't wait for this game. I'm so happy we got to cover this game. I am excited because not only are these two very good teams, we're going to get to see a very high level of Valorant here, but there's going to be a lot of mind games and a lot else at stake here.
I don't blame them. Seriously, like if you look at the record that they had already played against XLG in a couple of global events before. They had beat them without problem. The Chinese region was not looking very strong. Everything pointed at that being the easiest path for G2. Apparently to go home and not to continue in the tournament. But it is EWC. It hasn't been that long, but we have gotten to see different faces from the teams. Yes, they are coming off of a loss. At the end of the day, the first match was all about qualifying and getting onto that big stage. But here is about survival. So this rematch is happening when the stakes are the highest.
Yeah, and of course, G2 played Nongshim Red Force earlier in a tight 3-map series. They ended up falling short and now find themselves up against the wall yet again here at the Esports World Cup with Jog, Leaf, Valen, Trent, and our former co-caster, co-analyst, greatest story in esports, but he's got to start winning, and Baby Bay coming together with the America's champion.
Look, we'd love to see him do well. I think this team can be a little bit more, Matt. You love them or you hate them. They're not afraid to be those villains there, but ultimately, I think they still have a lot of fans there who would like to see them upset the script, get the wins a day, and rewrite what happened to them over in London.
I think that Nongshim was just a force to be reckoned with. What I like about G2 is that they always keep it real. Like, they're going to be honest and they're going to always admit to their mistakes. That is one of the reasons why they're always able to bounce back harder. Now, the big question is, can they do it against a team that they thought no much of an opponent until not that long ago?
Yeah, well, we're going to get to hear from them right now in terms of how they got here to EWC. That's Road to EWC, G2.
It all started at EWC. I got asked by G2, like, hey, you think you still got it? And I was literally working the event there. Leaf was in the hospital during that time, so I subbed in for him. And then moving forward to this year, it just made sense for everyone, you know, that I would be a player because of the impact that I had on the guys and everything like that. It's a crazy story. Working the event, I basically get my tryout at the event, and now I'm playing in the event. I don't know if anyone else in EWC has done this yet, that worked talent and then played in the event the next year, but hey, we're making history here, so.
My first impression of Baby Bay was this guy is a party animal, disaster, but like we tamed the beast and now he's locked. Every time we come to a tournament, we have a chance to win, just like everyone else. This time around, you're gonna see some unique compositions. Maybe Baby Bay activated more. The way G2 is gonna win this tournament is throughout flair and flashy plays. I think we've switched up a lot of our dynamics from Masters, and we're gonna come in here full confidence, just doing absolute crazy work on the server. This time we're just trying to dumb down our game a little bit and just play together. Just play fucking together.
When I was watching all these games last year as a caster, I swear I can beat these guys, you know? I swear I know I can beat these guys. Like, I always had that confidence there, but as soon as I stepped on that stage, played my first match, I just knew, okay, I'm here. I've done this a million times before. There's no way to know what my future holds. It's been so crazy already. I went from being a caster to being a pro within like a 1.5 year span. Literally pro on like one of the best teams in North America. Crush people's little medal that they have. That's gonna be so fun because I got to see it as a spectator, you know? And it didn't like mean anything to me per se. Like, I don't want any team to crush mine, you know? Like, I wanna crush theirs.
Again, one of the greatest stories in esports. After being out for a 1.5 years, comes back on in, wins Americas multiple times, now looking for that international stage success, RG2, and standing in the way is XLG, the team that felled them first over at Masters London and surprised everyone, given the fact that XLG just qualified on in from VCT China Ascension last year, and then that was a lot of the intro to the world on an international stage for this squad when they qualified.
Look, I think this is a team that I've always been able to do well domestically over in that CN region, but then when they went international, they couldn't find that confidence. That was always the story. You would talk to Raga and he would go, yeah, I'm not that good. I'm fine. I'm not the best duelist ever, and you know, that is what it is. And it's like, get some confidence. Then in London, we see that confidence start to come into play. You see them not only get out of the group, they manage a top 6 finish, which is incredible for this roster, and part of that was, of course, taking down G2. G2, I don't think we'll be underestimating their opponents this time. They know full well the power of XLG.
And on this new era of Chinese teams where EDG is struggling to stay on top, we have an all gamers battling all the way throughout. We have an XLG that keeps improving their placements in every single one of the global events that they attend. They start to get very, very scary. One thing that I love about G2 is the fact that although there's a lot of teams in Valorant that suffer from success, like you can attribute what happened yesterday to Paper X on that side. Oh, we're jumping straight onto the maps, and Lotus is going to be the first one. Psychological warfare here.
Look, Lotus is interesting. XLG was so well known for that patented triple sentinel comp. Here, we've seen them change over at EWC. It's a very different approach. This is the kind of thing we see more from Paper Rex, that raise over here on the side of G2. They'll be sticking with that Viper, a much more control, slower focus of composition that suits these guys right down to the ground here.
Yeah, exactly. No Sky this time around. Also implementing the Vice, another team that does not include the Viper on their lineup here for Lotus. It wouldn't be the first time that XLG surprises with something, but obviously, as Big Time was saying, after not having the triple Sentinel, it did not look good, and it looks like this one is only going to be harder.
We kick things off with Lotus. We'll go to Breeze, then Fracture if a decider is needed. G2 and XLG playing for their Esports World Cup Valorant lives. Only one will move on to the decider match tomorrow. Let's get into it with the picture of a man. It's Mitchman and Tom.
A picture of a man the people at home can't see, but it was a picture of a goddamn angel. Welcome, folks. G2 versus XLG. This is a rematch from going back to the last international event, and let me tell you, G2, although they used to take the dub against XLG every time, last time it was a different story. Now back for revenge. A debt has to be paid. But XLG want to keep running up the numbers. Attack side. Start towards this B site. Smokes out. Dive in. And control there for at least the two duelists who make it past the wall. The rest will be delayed. And with the door swinging open, G2 try an immediate crunch. The spike is stuck with the paranoia. They're up close. They can still see. Lysor does well, but they don't know. The Valorant tucked into the corner and he even slips away. Big early advantage for G2 now with the spike down.
Another dropped. No man gone. Leo is still behind though. Might be an additional snake in the grass, but he's going to give away his position. Raga has managed to go in from behind. It's almost like a retake onto the defenders, but instead they will win both fights anyway. A pistol round for G2. And I don't know, if that's going to be how the rest of the game goes, this is going to be an explosive one.
Yeah, oh, without a doubt, the immediate response from G2 there, the second that wall goes up on B, those players are swinging through the door. They've got a smoke to block off the rest of the squad, and it's just a shame that the spike is the one isolated. Obviously, you don't want to see it going in first a lot of the time, or it'll be isolated behind the wall. But a great response from G2, and good protocols on display early on. That's what we expect to see from this team. Even though XLG won last time, it's hard for me to come into this thinking of them as the favorites in this matchup.
No, I think we've had years of G2 being a squad that always challenges for titles. Winning them, at least outside of their region, hasn't yet been possible. But yeah, I'd still put them on that pedestal. I think especially going into this first map, it was a map where XLG tried to almost define the meta itself, running their triple Senti. I think people figured it out, and they lost quite handedly 4 times in a row. And now they're trying to reinvent the wheel. And I like the fact that G2 are not shying away from this matchup at all. This has been an incredibly strong map for them, both regionally and versus XLG as well. So I think both squads will be coming in with a map that they feel confident on. Already though, a little bit of additional damage in a round where expectations are pretty much zero. Oh, for a moment I thought Lysor might just give them a lead in this round.
He certainly had the chance, but a few shots not landing was the difference. Players on the B site ready to crunch up behind as pressure's put on to Jogamo. XLG look to run it down, but being picked apart, and damage will remain at just one player lost. A fine round in the end for G2, but even looking at the health bars and with how the round played out, it definitely looked like they were going to pay a bit of a heavier price for that round.
Yeah, for sure. I think that ultimately they come out with it clean enough. And now we look towards XLG on this map. As I said, they're trying to find a new footing in terms of what they actually want to be playing on Lotus, moving away from that triple Sentinel comp, even moving away from what I believe they were running last time as well, now bringing in a Vice, like trying to figure out what works for them. And sure, that means that for G2, reading what they're actually going to be doing might be a little bit more difficult, but I think it also kind of shows where XLG are. If you're having to change game to game what you run on a map, I think there might be a few problems there. And they also did lose 13-1 last time, so you can kind of understand why they changed things.
That starts to add up. For XLG, credits on the board, rifles in hand, and a slow start to this round. Contained any aggression that might have been there from G2. As the idea early is now they contact up into A. But Frosting Leaf gives the info away. Now a Sky Flash could come through. No, in fact, they just walk in. The Viper Wall gives them that extra space to fight with. 3-men swing, good trades early, considering it's a lower buy for G2. Normally you want the defense to not be trading 1-for-1. Harder to defend the map that stays the same size while your forces shrink. But in a round like this, that's just fine. Normally you're going to need a hero to step up to the plate. Man like Babybait, last time they played up against this man, he was on the Vice and he delivered an incredible performance. I think he was 19-9 by the time they left this map. A big reason that G2 were able to take it in the first place. Losing the next two, which have been removed from the pool this time.
Happy wait, timing almost gets the better of him, but he's able to hold the ground for now. Of course, this is the bonus for G2. Getting anything done here would be, wow, paramount for a great early start, and they're already in a pretty good position here. Noman tagged low, Babybait with another, and everything seems to just fall apart for that attacking side. And with a bonus victory, and I'll be honest with you, it wasn't even the best bonus. There was like a stinger in the mix. There was quite a few vulnerabilities. I believe only like one primary rifle and a bulldog.
Yep.
And they managed to come out with 3 players alive, upgrade all of those guns, and win the round. Like, I think G2 are going to be incredibly happy with that.
Well, yeah, I think they just set a trap nicely towards main that towards A main that wasn't really expected. You see the Viper Wall that's in position. It's a normal Viper Wall. It's nothing special. It's nothing unique. But in this instance, having 2 players in the smoke ready to pounce out, one on the door who was finding first contact. As soon as he sees a player, Viper Wall goes up, and the 1 or 2 players who step through that are in a lot of trouble, as we saw. For XLG, that's a big blow early on. Losing that rifle round puts G2 3-0. They've got a ton of credits to work with for the moment. And in this round, it's not like XLG have a lot of opportunities to take weapons out of their hands. If this is a flawless or even close to that for G2, they're going to have a lot of safety nets to fall back on. Even if they lose a couple of rounds, they'll be getting those rifles in hand. And from what we've seen so far, the protocols have been enough to secure rounds. This is a bit aggressive up against the Nico. Swing on the door is one thing. I don't expect to see them walking through, but that nade is absolutely perfect. You love to see it.
Oh, it was a 1-11 attack side half versus mates, and the start so far hasn't looked fantastic. A player blinded in the corner, but also not checked. And although Raga might have a bit of an unorthodox position, is it going to be checked? Really? Okay, fair play, Chocobo. I don't know if there was some sound that gave the game away, but I think when you're walking back through, the plant has gone down on the other side of the map. I didn't expect them to check that, so fair enough. You said they need maybe to do some damage in this round. They have not.
Yeah, I really thought that would be. I was right there with you. Like, oh, okay, fantastic position. Almost impossible to lose it from there. But, yeah, the almost impossible was that if he checks it, you're in trouble. A flawless round. I didn't expect this to be what G2 got for XLG now. This becomes a terrifying prospect. Take a look at the credits. There's not going to be much reinvested. I don't think anyone's even hitting 1K reinvested. Well, 6K is a pretty average figure to see on that defensive side. A timeout now from XLG, knowing that you're already at the point where you've got to put rounds up on the board in this buy round.
Yeah, for sure. This isn't like the comp of old where they had a triple centi defensive comp where you could go, okay, if we get like 4 or 5 rounds, we're in an amazing spot to go into the defense. This time, with a double dive, you are going to need to pick up some rounds on the attack, and for G2, they've not been tested yet. They lose 2 players in a bonus round. They flawlessly win the buy round. And they are looking incredibly comfortable. And that's a good sign for a team that we have very high expectations of. Of course, going into that top 8 over in London, you kind of do see it sometimes where you go up against teams that have had that momentum building up and you're unable to really get started. It was a disappointing event, to say the least. But tasting defeat early in this one and the potential of another 0-2 exit on the international stage, that would be unheard of for G2. And for XLG, well, they'd need to do the double over them in back-to-back events. And I guess this time at least, I don't think G2 have come in underestimating their opponent, especially when you became a viral Valorant meme.
Well, I think when you look back at that event, it was Ascent and Split that G2 lost, and it was Ascent and Split that G2 banned in this series. Not really too much of a surprise that they don't want to go back to that, because especially Ascent was dominant from XLG. It was almost as quick as the game you saw earlier on today from Heretics there. But for G2, this was the map that they won last time around. They won at 13-7. As I said, a lot of that was players like Baby Bay, I believe Leaf, having extremely good performances. On the other maps, it was Happy Way that drew my eye for XLG.
Yeah,
he was finding a lot of space, making it very uncomfortable for G2 to play, but I don't think he was able to have that same impact on the Cypher on this map, and the Omen, not expecting it to be attempted.
Well, into the site they go. Space taken, but it looked like the defenders were already setting themselves up for more of a retake. Showstopper activated, Baby Bay found one, and through goes Jorgamo, but the trades come in thick and fast, evening things up for the moment. The split is caught by Lysor. A nice double, leaving Valen alone. And he is not on the right side of the map. He was a little bit late to the party, maybe expecting them to go back in the other direction. Instead, though, a little bit of delay thrown in, but it hasn't removed the weapon, so they do have to be careful. Lysor, maybe not. Carefree, and a first round to boot.
Yeah, much needed for XLG. Like we said, they called the timeout right before. They're putting all their credits into this one. G2 sky high when it comes to credit economy. Indeed, even throwing in some ultimates, especially that Showstopper, which found success. But it's a great position from Lysor, something we tried, or XLG tried to have earlier on with Rarga, but he was sniffed out. This time, amidst the chaos, they're able to strike from the sidelines. And the 4-1 scoreline, the first round for XLG put on the board, and G2 call a timeout. Keep in mind, they had a timeout in the previous round to discuss things, and I have to say, that really shocks me. I don't think we see that very often at all, especially not this early in the game. We're going into round number 6.
No, not in a map where I think it's probably the most favored a map will be in this series. I think that you're looking at a team that, again, regionally has been very good, even on the international stage has been pretty good, and has beaten XLG. And XLG, who are currently on a 4-loss streak, the last 2 being a 13-1 defeat and a 13-3 defeat. So clearly there was something maybe within the comms that was heard by the coach and just went, actually, I want to stem that now. I want to make sure that this does end up being a dominant half. But yeah, definitely a little bit surprising to see after a singular round was lost that they're going to take a pause. But hey, I trust the coaching staff of G2 that was a necessary one.
Yeah, I mean, they saw some reason for the alarm bells to start ringing. Now round 6, 2 timeouts out of the way already. Still in that early stages, around the mid part of the half. XLG playing a very aggressive early round, leaving Lysor to lurk outside B standard play, but the rest making a lot of noise on C. It seems like they're even going to go in. Yes, fully taking the site here. Rarga's committed. With the paranoia gone through, the rest of the squad backs off. Jogamo finding the lurk towards B, now cuts off one head of the Hydra. It's only really the players on site left to worry about.
Nightfall.
And no man, he has to go back now.
Yeah, Nightfall's in play. Just got picked up by Leo from the plant. May just be using it for when they actually get towards the site. Instead, though, weaponry is going to be removed. And in fact, all of the players are actually going to leave the site. There's the Nightfall. Potentially just going to try and get them back in and maybe find them off the spams. It has caught a lot of the players on the other side, but even still, they are getting on towards that diffusal. It's halved already. Jorgamo is just sticking it under their nose, and it doesn't matter how the fights go. He's just going to defuse. Valen does clean up everybody else in the end, and well, XLG from a post plant, I'll be honest, they get barely anything.
It's rare to see the plant in that position, I think for a number of reasons. Take a look at the position that Jogamo just defused from. He's up on top of the wall, way outside of what you normally consider the radius. Even if you're spamming at head height, you're not spamming it where his head is, because the wall gives him a boost. Normally it will be the corner, because the main problem with it isn't what I just mentioned. That's an annoyance. The main problem is you have to swing so deep to get an angle on that. G2 had 4 players or 3 players standing there taking a brawl, and you had to swing through their sightline to then get a shot through a smoke onto a guy who's in a weird position.
Okay,
that was a mistake.
Immediate showstopper. This is a round where they're trying to use the ultimates to pad the gap. Valen has already managed to do well, but they are still standing their ground, even with showstopper activated, but maybe it was just a bait. Noman doing better with the rifle.
He's left on 22 HP. Has to try to make a surprise play up the top in the smoke, not even on the usual side of it. But getting out of here, you're rolling the dice. And okay, well, he's managed to slip into the corner at least. He could have an angle. In fact, we can see he could get a kill, but instead he's looking towards Leaf, and he swings out wide, gets caught. Leaving one man to do it all. The one who was the snake in the grass, who caused so many problems for G2 on the maps that they lost last time around. But he'll be left alone with 35 HP and still needing to find a plant.
I like this, though. Grouping up together, not giving him that headshot angle. We've seen it many a time. The players have been able to steal around away from that position. I'm expecting maybe the operator to go first. Leave a bit wider. That could give an opportunity, but never mind. If he just gets the kill, it will end the round anyway. 6-1.